Let me give you a number. $1.1 million every week. That is what Erling Haaland earns when you add his base salary. Performance bonuses and image rights at Manchester City, not per month, per week. To put that in perspective, the average person working full-time would need approximately 20 years to earn what Haaland earns in a single 7-day period. He is 25 years old. His net worth is already estimated at $100 million. His total career earnings have already crossed $150 million. And here is the most interesting part of all of that. He doesn't show off. He doesn't post his cars on Instagram. He doesn't wear his wealth like a performance. He lives quietly, eats his dad's lasagna before matches, sleeps 11 hours, and then goes out and earns another $1 million. Today, we are going to talk about the psychology behind that wealth, how it was built, what it actually teaches about money, success, and the mindset that produces both. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to PsyWealth, Richie. Today we are talking about something that I think will genuinely shift how you think about wealth and success. Because Haaland's financial story is not just impressive numbers. It is a complete psychology lesson about how extraordinary wealth is actually built. And the answer is not what most people expect. If you are new here, subscribe. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the full picture of what Haaland actually earns, because the numbers are genuinely extraordinary. Even by elite footballer standards, his base weekly salary at Manchester City is around $645,000. But when bonuses and image rights are added, he could be earning up to $1.1 million per week. In 2025, he signed a landmark 10-year contract extension worth an estimated $28 million annually in base pay, with bonuses and endorsement deals pushing his yearly income even higher and his career earnings beyond $150 million. Off the pitch, the story is equally remarkable. He has a lucrative deal with Nike worth roughly $20 million. Yearly, it's a 10-year deal signed in 2023. He has endorsement relationships with Beats by Dre and luxury watchmaker Breitling. He owns properties across Europe, including a $712 million mansion in Spain, a multi-million-dollar home in Manchester, a $328 million apartment in Oslo, and a place in Cheshire. And in 2026, he became involved in a global chess initiative, signaling that his financial thinking extends well beyond football into long-term wealth building and investment. Total picture. His net worth is around $100 million according to Forbes, making him one of the highest paid athletes in the world at just 25 years old. Here is what I want you to really understand about how Haaland's wealth was actually created. Because most people look at those numbers and think, talent. He was just born with extraordinary ability, and the money followed. And while talent is part of the story, the psychology underneath the financial outcome is far more instructive than the talent itself. Haaland's wealth was built through three things that have nothing to do with being born gifted. The first is value creation at the absolute highest level of his field. He doesn't just play football, he produces results that nobody else in the history of the sport has produced at his age. 36 goals in his debut Premier League season, records demolished before he turned 23. When you create value at that level, the financial reward almost takes care of itself, because the market always finds a way to compensate extraordinary value. The second is consistency. Not one great season, not one great tournament. Consistent elite output sustained over years. Every contract extension Haaland has earned has been justified by performance that preceded it. He didn't negotiate from potential. He negotiated from proof. The third is leveraging that performance into multiple income streams. The Manchester City salary is the foundation, but the Nike deal, the Breitling partnership, the Beats deal, the real estate portfolio, those are the architecture built on top of that foundation. And that architecture is what turns a good footballer's salary into $100 million net worth at 25. Here is something about Haaland's relationship with his wealth that I find deeply psychologically significant. He is worth $100 million. He earns over $1 million a week, and he is genuinely difficult to locate in the celebrity lifestyle, content that dominates social media. No constant flexing, No Instagram posts of his cars or his mansions designed to generate envy. No public performance of his wealth as a status signal to the world. He said, "Yo, I don't show off a lot despite earning a lot, but I definitely live well." That distinction between living well and performing wealth is one of the most psychologically healthy orientations toward money that I have ever encountered in someone at his financial level. Because most people who accumulate significant wealth face a specific psychological trap, the trap of identity fusion, where their net worth becomes their identity, where the performance of wealth becomes more important than the experience of it, where they need other people to see and acknowledge what they have in order to feel that having it is real. Haaland stepped completely outside that trap. His wealth is real to him, regardless of whether anyone else acknowledges it. And that psychological independence from external validation, applied to money as much as to football, is one of the rarest and most powerful mindset qualities available to a human being. I want to spend a moment on Haaland's real estate investments, because I think they reveal something important about how he thinks about money beyond the immediate present. He owns properties in Spain, Manchester, Oslo, and Cheshire, across multiple countries, across multiple markets. That is not the behavior of someone spending what they earn. That is the behavior of someone converting earned income into appreciating assets, preserving wealth rather than consuming it, building a financial foundation that will outlast his playing career, rather than spending on things that depreciate the moment they leave the showroom. Most professional athletes, historically, have struggled with exactly this. The famous statistic that a significant percentage of professional athletes are in financial difficulty within years of retirement is real and well documented. The pattern is almost always the same: high income during playing years, lifestyle that matches or exceeds that income, no meaningful asset base built during the earning period, retirement with income dramatically reduced and lifestyle costs dramatically unchanged. Haaland is building the opposite story: real estate that appreciates, endorsement deals that extend his brand beyond his playing career, a financial architecture designed to produce income and preserve wealth long after the boots are hung up. Here is the core psychology lesson that Haaland's financial story teaches, and it is one that applies to every single person watching this, regardless of their current income level. Wealth is not primarily about income. It is about the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and what you do with that gap. Haaland earns extraordinary amounts, but he also lives with remarkable discipline relative to what he earns. He is not consuming his income at a rate that prevents accumulation. He is converting a significant portion of it into assets: real estate, long-term endorsement deals, investments that compound over time. That pattern, earn significantly, spend deliberately, invest consistently, is the same pattern that produces wealth at every income level. Not just at Haaland's level. The person earning $30,000 a year who saves and invests 10% is running the same fundamental program as Haaland. The scale is different. The psychology is identical. And the psychology is the part that matters. Because the psychology is the part you can control regardless of what your income currently looks like. And now I want to speak directly to you, because I think the real lesson of Haaland's wealth story is not about football or fame or the specific numbers on his contracts. It is about three things that anyone can apply starting today. The first is create value at the highest level you are capable of, not the level that is comfortable. The highest level you can actually reach with genuine effort. Because the financial reward for extraordinary value is almost always disproportionate to the financial reward for ordinary value. The gap between good and exceptional is much larger in financial terms than most people appreciate. The second is build assets, not just income. Every dollar you earn that gets consumed disappears. Every dollar that gets converted into something that grows, property, investments, skills that compound, relationships that open doors, multiplies. Start thinking about the gap between what you earn and what you spend as the most important number in your financial life, not your gross income, the gap. The third is detach your identity from your wealth. The people who use out money as a status performance, who need others to see and acknowledge what they have, almost always make worse financial decisions than the people who treat money as a tool for security, for freedom, for the ability to keep doing what they love. Haaland treats his wealth as a tool, not a trophy, and that psychological orientation, money as instrument, rather than identity, is one of the most powerful financial mindset shifts you can make. Erling Haaland earns $1.1 million a week. He is worth $100 million at 25 years old, and he eats his dad's lasagna before home matches and sleeps 11 hours a night. That combination, extraordinary, wealth held with extraordinary psychological lightness, is one of the most instructive financial portraits I have ever studied, because it proves that the mindset that builds wealth is almost never the mindset that performs wealth. It is the mindset that creates value consistently, converts income into assets deliberately, and treats money as a tool for freedom rather than a trophy for validation. That mindset is available to you at whatever income level you are currently at, starting with the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and what you choose to do with it. Subscribe to PsyWealth Richie. Share this with someone who needs to rethink their relationship with money today. We will see you in the next one.